From the Frederick Keys to the Flying Cows, from college courts to Friday night lights, and from the big leagues of local sports to the little leagues where it all begins. This is Frederick Sports, hosted by longtime broadcaster and sports executive John Hunt, bringing over 40 years of play-by-play, insight, and local sports experience to the mic. Frederick Sports starts now.
Happy Friday. Welcome to this edition of Frederick Sports. Number 55, they tell me. 55 editions so far of this and John's House. So that's 110 podcasts I've done already. That's insane. I never thought I'd be in front of a camera, nevertheless, doing 110 plus editions of different shows. But this is a lot of fun. I'm having a good time with it. And thanks to everybody involved in Studio 401, the Everything Frederick Live Network. And we have a rookie on the board today. Nick is doing the job with Bella over his shoulder, making sure everything is good. So thanks to those two as well for helping us out as we roll through this edition of Frederick Sports. So there's a lot of baseball, which we're going to talk about in a little bit. And there's soccer coming up. They've got WNBA. I mean, we're almost to the point where we're going to have 5 or 6 sports going on at once, because pretty soon, before you know it, there's going to be NBA basketball and there's going to be hockey and then college football and pro football. Now, if you count the exhibition season, pro football is already underway. By the way, I'm John Hunt and this is Frederick Sports. I don't know if I said that before. And we've worked with a couple of very cool people around town, had them on the air with us. And if you'd ever like to be part of one of our shows here on the Everything Frederick Live Network, you can hit me up at rockthewave13@gmail.com. Let me know that you would like to be on the program. And one of the special guests that we have had a couple of times on the show, as he has been building up, Brian from the Frederick Card Collective has been on the show. He and his family just had the official ribbon cutting today at the store on Market Street, and we were there.
Hey, it's John Hunt from John's House and Frederick Sports on the Everything Frederick Live Network. I've got Brian from the brand new grand opening of the Frederick Card Collective. How was it, man? You just did your ribbon cutting.
We did. We got to use the giant scissors. We cut the ribbon. Grand opening tomorrow. We're just excited to finally be here.
So what happens today? It's kind of a soft opening. Can people come in and check it out?
Yeah, so we did the ribbon cutting. We're going to stay open for the rest of the day, open house, kind of let everybody come check out what the store's about, get in here, and then tomorrow at 11 a.m. we'll do our official grand opening ceremony, and we'll be open for business.
All right, and let's take a quick look inside. Here. As we walk in, you'll be able to kind of check out the store. It looks great. I know that you had a bit of a journey getting this all put together from the previous store.
Yeah, so this is a complete overhaul, new paint, new floors, everything. We just wanted a fresh, bright, safe space for everybody to come in and get their collectibles.
Sounds good. Well, go ahead and give the store a look through. You're going to do it. There you go. People already buying the collectible cards, whether or not it's baseball cards or Pokemon cards or any other game cards. Brian's got them here for you. It is the Frederick Card Collective. I'm John Hunt, broadcasting live for the Everything Frederick Network.
There you go. So thanks to Dougie also for being on the camera, if you will, or my phone, also known as a camera sometimes, and helping us out with that. But again, congratulations to Brian. They've got the store officially open. You can go by the store for the regular business hours today, kind of a soft opening. And then tomorrow they'll have some prizes. They'll have some goodies, some food, all that stuff starting at 11 o'clock right there next to Curious Iguana and Tsunami. I like going to Tsunami. So anytime I get a chance to go there, that's a good thing. But right there on Market Street downtown. And you can check out the brand new and really the only full service card store, if you will, with all different types of cards. Like we talked about in that break there, Pokemon cards, those Magic cards, Yu-Gi-Oh cards. I don't know the name of all of them. I know my kids used to play them when they were younger. And then, of course, NBA, NFL, Major League Baseball, the one-of-one cards, all different things. Anything you can think of when it comes to trading cards, they either have it or they can get it for you. So go check out the store right there on Market Street. And again, congratulations once again to Brian and his family. I got to meet his daughters too, who he's talked about on the show as being the ones with the hot hands, which means whenever they open up a pack of cards, it turns out to be something good. It turns out to be some kind of one-of-one or some specialty card that you can't get anywhere else. So he pretty much said he's not going to open any more cards. He's going to let them do it from now on. So the whole family, again, great group of people, and we're excited to have them right there on Market Street. Let's get into sports here in the region. The NFL is back, sort of. I call the exhibition season sort of because that's kind of what it is. You're not going to see very many of the starters, and any of the starters that play won't play for very long because they don't want them injured in the exhibition season. And this isn't the other kind of football, soccer, where they call it a friendly, not an exhibition. So I had to do soccer over the summer with World Cup, and I had to learn a lot of things. I've been watching MLS for a while, but, getting into World Cup helped me learn a lot more about soccer. So when you're talking soccer, you can't say exhibition, you have to say friendly. But when you're talking about the NFL, you can't say friendly because the NFL guys aren't friendly with each other. That's kind of how it works. Washington against Detroit at noon tomorrow, and Baltimore at Minnesota at 1:00 tomorrow. And then next week, the last exhibition game of the season for the NFL for both teams, Washington next Friday, the 28th at 6:00. So those two will play each other, and then they'll get into the regular season. Week 1 starts on the 9th. I think they have the Australian game where the Rams and the Raiders play each other. And then, of course, we get into the main part of Week 1, September 13, Baltimore at Indianapolis at 1:00, and then Washington at Philadelphia, an important game for the Commanders right off the bat, playing a division rival, Philadelphia Eagles, at 4:25 on September 13th. Major League Baseball, not good for the Orioles the last 3 games. The Yankees beat the Orioles 6-1. They swept the series, one of those games controversial, as Pete Alonso hit a home run. And again, a couple of days later, even some officials are saying, yeah, that was a home run. Sorry, we made a mistake. And it took a win away from the Orioles and gave it to the Yankees the other night. Tonight, it's the Rays and the Orioles in Baltimore. Freddie Peralta against Trevor Rogers. That should be a good pitching matchup. And, of course, when I say that, it'll be 11-10 by the time it's over. The Rangers beat the Nationals last night 2-0. Tonight, the Nationals play the Marlins. The Lord is going to the hill. No, it's Brad Lord. It's just his last name. Lord against Gusto. That is 7-10 again tonight in Miami. The Orioles are now 2 games behind in the wild card chase behind Detroit, Cleveland, Toronto, Texas, and Minnesota. The Nationals are kind of halfway between the wild card chase and being in dead last in the National League. The Nationals are 7.5 games behind in the wild card chase, and they are 10 games from being in last place in the National League. So they're in a tough spot as we get into the final stretch of the season. We're going to come back in just a couple of minutes. We'll talk about the Keys, the Bay Sox, and Aberdeen, plus a whole lot more sports. That's all coming up after these. I'm John Hunt, and this is Frederick Sports.
Frederick, if you're craving real Chicago-style flavor, Rosati's is bringing it. From their cheesy, loaded deep dish pizza to crispy tavern-style thin crust, every bite is packed with that classic Rosati's taste. And don't sleep on the steak and cheese sub. Hot, hearty, and seriously satisfying. Rosati's has been serving family recipes since 1964, and now you can get it right here in Frederick. Stop by 911 West 7th Street or order online at rosatispizza.com. Rosati's, keeping it real since 1964.
How much should law enforcement be able to see when you drive down the street? Flock cameras are raising serious questions about public safety, privacy, tracking, and your data. Now, Everything Frederick Live is bringing the conversation face to face. Join Maryland gubernatorial candidate Dan Cox, Frederick County Sheriff Chuck Jenkins, former Frederick Mayor Jeff Holtzinger, and State Senator William Folden for a special Flock Camera Town Hall. The questions are yours. The conversation starts here. Join us Wednesday, August 26th at 7 p.m. on Everything Frederick Live.
Hot Fired Arts is Frederick's handmade, locally owned art studio where creativity meets community. Since 2016, they've offered hands-on art experiences for all ages, from pottery and fused glass to wet clay and canvas painting. Whether you're looking for a fun family outing, a date night, or a creative outlet, they make art accessible and enjoyable for all skill levels. Stop by and see them today in the Fairview Shopping Center on 7th Street, Frederick, or visit them online at hotfiredarts.com.
We are back. There it is. I was waiting for the screen to come up, but we are back and rocking and rolling on a Friday. The Keys, they're rocking and rolling. They got a rain out last night, so they'll play a doubleheader starting at 4:30 in Wilmington. 7 innings for each game. Of course, that's the way they do it now with doubleheaders. They won't play the full 9. They'll save the pitching arms, especially the younger guys in the lower leagues, but all the way up to the majors now when they play a doubleheader, which doesn't happen often, especially in the majors. And when they do, they'll do the split doubleheaders. They will play, again, doubleheader tonight. First pitch, 4:30 from Wilmington. And then coming your way next week is the final 6-game home series of the season for the Frederick Keys in their first affiliated season in a number of years as they switched back recently. So congratulations to them because they won the first half title. And right now with 17 regular season games to go, they are 30-18, 2.5 games ahead of Greensboro to lock down that playoff spot. Now, who's going to be in second? Who are they going to have to play in the first round? We don't know that yet, whether they win the division on the second half or not. Greensboro's 2.5 games behind. Hudson Valley's 4 games back. Wilmington 5 games back. And Brooklyn 6 games back. And the Keys played their last series of the season at Brooklyn. Again, 17 regular season games left in total between home and on the road. Just 6 of them here in Frederick. Playoff tickets are on sale. They are away on September 8th, and they are home on September 9th and 10th. It is a 3-game series. So it is possible that game on the 10th won't be played if the Keys are able to win games 1 and 2. Again, it's a best-of-3 series, so you can get your playoff tickets. It's going to be a different atmosphere in the ballpark when it gets to playoff time. So I highly recommend getting your playoff tickets ASAP. And I also highly recommend next week going to see the Keys because guys are already starting to move up to AA and to AAA. And who knows, if the Orioles fall apart, they may end up moving all the way to playing Major League Baseball by the end of the season. Get a cup of coffee with the Orioles, get a look at what Major League pitching and Major League hitting looks like for some of the younger guys, even though they may end up back in AA or AAA next year. For a lot of these guys on the Keys, it's going to be the last opportunity to see them before they move to a higher level of baseball. And speaking of a higher level of baseball, the Chesapeake Bay Sox top prospect, right-handed pitcher Anthony Ianson threw 7 strong, just giving up 1 run on 5 hits, 8 strikeouts, no walks. But unfortunately, the bats weren't working last night for the Bay Sox, and it was a 2-0 loss. He only gave up 1 of those runs in the loss to the Flying Squirrels. In AA, he is second in the entire AA division in earned run average with a 1.93 ERA. It's the second lowest in AA behind his teammate, Joseph DeWurza, 1.89 earned run average. So he is the number 1 prospect. He's one of the guys that came over in the big trade not too long ago that everybody's still talking about with the Orioles. But again, they have the number 1 and the number 2 ERA pitchers. So lowest earned run average in AA. Not a bad future for the Baltimore Orioles if those guys continue up the ladder, don't get hurt, and those kind of things. The series continues at PG Stadium in Bowie. through Sunday with the Richmond Flying Squirrels. Richmond is already in the playoffs. They won the first half title. Chesapeake has 21 games left. They are six and a half games behind Erie for the last playoff spot. So they've got some work to do with only 21 games to go. They need a serious run. They've got a ton of talent on that team, though. I can't say enough about the guys that have already moved up from single A. Fireworks tonight and Saturday. Tonight is also back to school night in Bowie. It's Crayola special jerseys that you can bid on that the players will wear in the game, and then you can bid on them. And they'll give you literally the shirt off their backs and hook you up with the cool Crayola special jerseys. And all kids get a box of Crayola crayons as well. With 11 games remaining, the Mahoning Valley Scrappers beat Aberdeen 9-0. They'll play again tonight in Ripken Stadium. Aberdeen is tied with Williamsport, who won the first half championship. The Williamsport Crosscutters for the second half title and a shot at the playoffs. So again, tied for the top spot. And if they finish second, they still will make the playoffs because, again, Williamsport, if they finish second to Williamsport, Williamsport won the first half. So Aberdeen would get the second half title and would be able to play them in the first round of the playoffs in the draft league. So, again, a bunch of our teams are so close to playoff berths. That's going to carry some fun into the month of September. In the Atlantic League, Hagerstown plays against Southern Maryland through Sunday. Hagerstown lost last night, which means they lost the Black-Eyed Susan title, unfortunately, to the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs. Blue Crabs are playing good ball this year on the field. And, unfortunately, they can't put any butts in the seats. That's the problem down there in Waldorf with the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs. But they are playing great ball. No questions asked about that. Brett Jody doing a good job managing that team. And, again, they'll continue through Sundays. Again, Hagerstown is already in the playoffs. No matter what they do, if they lose every game the rest of the season, they are in the playoffs. However, a couple more wins, and they will set a record for the biggest turnaround, from worst to first kind of turnaround in Atlantic League history. So that would be kind of nice if Hagerstown gets a few more wins between now and the end of the season. Again, also give them some heat going into the playoffs as they won the first half championship. So they're going to get probably York. York is smoking hot here in the second half, and they're probably going to win the second half championship. So it's probably going to be Hagerstown versus York in the first round. Southern Maryland will play Lexington, Long Island, or Gastonia. They don't know which one it's going to be yet when they get to their playoffs in September. So I'm kind of rooting for Lexington because the general manager down there is a good friend of mine and a cousin of my former boss. My former boss of the New Jersey Jackals, before they sold the team, his cousin was the general manager of the Sussex County Miners, and then ended up moving to Lexington, Kentucky to take that job. So it would be fun to see my buddy make his way against Southern Maryland in the playoffs. All right, let's see. We'd like to thank our sponsors, Hot Fired Arts, Rosati's Pizza, both on 7th and basically across the parking lot from each other, Donald for Delicate, and our newest on 355 Ballinger Center Drive, the guys at Peak Performance Center. Oh, we don't want to forget the Minnesota Lynx are at the Washington Mystics tonight. The Mystics have won 8 out of the last 11 games and on a roll. They probably will make the playoffs. So we're going to have another local playoff team in our region. Also, the Mystics on Sunday will travel to the West Coast and play the Portland Fire. Thank you very much for hanging out with me. I do want to remind you, if you'd like to be part of this or any of the shows on the Everything Frederick Live Network, first, you can check any one of them out, even if you don't catch it live. If you miss it, it's not like the old days of watching TV. If you missed your favorite show, you had to wait till it came back on replays, 6 months later after the season was over, and they do reruns. Or many, many years later, like a lot of the old TV shows like I Love Lucy and MASH and those shows that would come back, each night in reruns, or Seinfeld now, those kind of shows. But no, you can catch it anytime you want on YouTube. You can also catch it on Facebook as well. You can catch it on Facebook Live, or you can go back through our catalog and catch any of the shows, whether it's my show in the morning, John's House, whether it's Danny and AJ's Good Morning Frederick, or any of the other podcasts that are on the network. There's so many choices. So again, go to YouTube and choose the Everything Frederick Live tab and look at all the different podcasts, whether you're looking to heal yourself or, you want to find out more about being an emergency worker and having mental health issues. You can check out the show Bunk Room Chats and, they'll tell you how to get through that. And of course, the shows that we do daily here are Good Morning Frederick, John's House, and Frederick Sports. We're going to be back to do it again next week. And by the way, next weekend, we're looking at live high school sports. I know golf started today. 3 of the county schools played golf earlier today, and that was the first day of any sport. But all the other sports will start on September 5th. And if you're trying out or if you've made the team, we're going to do our best to get you as many scores as we can find online. But if you want to make sure that your scores and highlights get to us, you can hit me directly at rockthewave13@gmail.com. You can send me the information if you'd like to be part of the show. We'd love to have you. High school coaches, assistant coaches, maybe you can bring some of your players with you. That's all great. We'd love to have it because we cover everything from the Keys to the Little Leagues right here in Frederick. So thanks again. I hope you have a great weekend. On and off weather, today take advantage of, tomorrow rain, and Sunday it looks like it'll be nice again. All right, we'll be back to do it with you one more time on Monday. And of course, remember, you are what you watch and you listen to. My name is John Hunt, and you've been watching Frederick Sports.
Thanks for watching Frederick Sports with John Hunt. From the pros to the colleges, the high schools, and the youth leagues that make Frederick Sports special, we're here to tell the stories behind the games, the teams, and the people who make it all happen. Make sure to like, share, and comment, and join us again next time for more Frederick Sports.
This episode is a proud production of the Everything Frederick Live Podcast Network, your home for Frederick's best podcasts, streaming daily on YouTube.